if I'm being honest, loving you the hardest thing to do, so I keep to myself. I feel like I'm falling in and out of consciousness. Yeah. Now we starting to talk, let's killing all the progress. Really hard to process, you treat me like an object. Baby, we toxic, can we stay on topic? I feel like we lost it, feel like we lost it. Take my love, don't waste it. Even though I don't mind waiting. Late test, my mind racing. What else I have to do, girl, to praise what you. I only want you, yeah. I only want you. I only want you. Pull me closer. I can't stop bleeding. If you gon' lead, then gon' lead just like everybody else. If you don't like my company, then I'll do life by myself. Girl, your love like a drug, it ain't good for my health. Even though it's killing me, girl, I love you to death. Take my love, don't waste it. Even though I don't mind waiting. Late test, my mind racing. What else I have to do, girl, I really want you.
What's up, everybody? What's going on? How's everybody's Monday night? Good evening, everyone. So, this is a 38-minute VT Chronicles from earlier today. And I've got some thoughts about it, but let me know what y'all think. It's mostly towards the end. So, let me just put this here and then start this thing. 38 minutes. It's not a real long time, relatively speaking, compared to other stuff she's done. So, November. All right. I'm ready. You ready? You ready? No, for those asking, Bam is not here. Bam is, this is way past his bedtime. So, sometimes he'll come on late, but most of the time when it's this late, you know, he's got to be up at like 4 or 5 in the morning. So, I'll let him know y'all were asking for him. All right, let me play this thing and see if I can get your thoughts on this in a little bit. Yellowstone. Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to Yellowstone after this. All right, let's get this thing going real quick. And I'll throw this up there real quick.
I had to just turn it off and do this as part 2. I'm driving somewhere and it's taking a really long time because there's construction in our expressways down here and the traffic is atrocious around this time. What I was trying to say is, if you don't know and you're completely lost and you have no idea what this video is about, it's because it's a part 2 and it's expected. And it's expected, like, you know, so that's why there's a part 1. My point is, for the 5th time, if you're not supposed to be around alcohol because you know it makes you dysfunctional, then why am I going to open up an emotional wound?
I know what she's talking about. Do y'all know what she's talking about?
Satisfy a person that cares about me very much, but doesn't completely understand why I cannot open up that emotional wound right now. I don't want to do that right now. And you're not going to get the authentic version of me because I am so going through something, right? And it's so easy to say, well, you're working, you must be fine. No, you make the world think that you're fine. That's what you do. That's what everybody does. You put your best self forward. That doesn't mean you're fine. And some people are really excellent and never letting the world know just how sad they are. And then we wonder why so many people like take things into their own hands and decide, you know what, no one's ever going to understand me. I understand why people will do that. That's why you have such a high rate of suicide in doctors. The same thing can be put, the same kind of ideology can be put on them. Like, they're doctors, they're so accomplished, they're, you know, they're like, are you kidding? They're smart, you know, they're, you know, they have the whole world ahead of them. And then that's why we have the highest suicide rate amongst doctors. There's probably nobody in the world that understands exactly what it is that they're going through, because, you know, and so life to them is not even worth living. And these are some of the most brilliant minds. I feel so bad for people that are not strong mentally. Because honestly, the pressure, if I had a friend who was going through some stuff, the last thing that I'm going to do is pressure them. The last thing that I'm going to do is guilt them. The last thing that I'm going to do is do anything that's going to make their struggle harder. I can't do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Thank you, Ani. Thank you. Thank you. I don't think it's, I think it's, you know, sometimes you have like, you know what you're facing, you know that there is some end in sight, and things have been made so difficult in my life that no one can help me. Like, no one can help me, and I'm still going through it. Even if you see me with lipstick on, even if you see me all dolled up, if you see me, you know, put a TikTok out there, even whatever it is that you see, I'm still surviving. I'm still going through some things. And putting a TikTok out there has nothing to do with like opening up, choosing to have a serious discussion and opening up about emotional wounds that you really can't deal with because you're literally between patients, or you're about to get home, or you're going to have to find a way to try to put your mind at ease.
You guys know what she's talking about? Who, or I should say, who she was talking about when she referred to alcohol? Do you know what she's talking about? She is not. I don't believe she is an alcoholic. Pretty sure she's not an alcoholic. So someone went live last night. Someone else, another YouTuber or page, whatever you want to call it. And they took exception to some videos that were made by a couple of the other pages. I mean, if you know, you know. I don't want to post it. I've never posted her stuff before. She was very upset and very passionate and very, very, very upset. So that's who she's talking about. But that's, maybe I'll get into it a little bit later. That's Nicole. Yes. Yes. Let me continue with this.
Because you're going to try to go get some sleep. I mean, at what point in 24 hours does somebody feel that it's okay for like a working person that's going through some things to choose, okay, I'm going to choose to open up an emotional wound right now. I can do it right now. Right now, I can do it. No, I'm going to have to go through what I'm going through, and then I'll be okay to talk and okay to, chit chat, right? I can't do that. The fact that the fact that your friend is not in complete 100% hermit mode, the fact that your friend is working, the fact that your friend is even doing this, the fact that your friend is even putting out a TikTok, I would be so happy for my friend that is struggling that they're at least doing that rather than stay in their thoughts, rather than stay in their minds, rather than knowing what I know what their options are. And I know that if they're my friend, when they're ready to talk, they're going to talk. When they're ready, when they're going through something and they're done with it, we're going to, it's going to be fun again, right? I feel like no one's going to understand me ever in my life. Like, seriously, I feel like even the sweetest people will not understand you. Even the sweetest ones. They won't. Hello, Jimmy. How are you? Carrie. Hello, Carrie.
Yes. Gigi, we'll call it her, not it, her. She was very, very upset. If you guys can share that with each other, I'm not going to share it. I'm not going to jump into that. But it seemed like someone just lost it. I mean, really lost it. And at first, it might have been entertaining for a couple of minutes, but then as it went on, it was more disturbing and more, what's the word I'm looking for? kind of like what she's saying. There's a lot of deep wounds and a lot of really deep inner feelings came out. And yeah, you guys know who it is. Whoever you guys have mentioned the name, you guys can circulate that if you want. I'm not going to post it. I'm not going to stream it either. But she probably, expressed what a lot of people feel and a lot of people are afraid to say. And she just had a moment. Who knows if she was, on something or drinking or smoking or whatever. I have no idea. I don't know that person. But she got really, really emotional. So I know some of you saw it already. And let's see where this is going.
And then I also try not to be rude, because I know, and I'll let contact happen. As far as text messages, you can't really get that deep with text messages, right? So the fact that I'm returning a text message is a huge deal for somebody that's going through so much, because you don't know how many times somebody that's going through a huge struggle, emotional struggle, some of them will not even text you back. They won't. And the fact that I do text back and the fact that I do message back, that's not even enough. No, it's no, that's not enough. And when that's not enough, and all you're trying to do is be polite, not be rude, at the same time that you are avoiding opening up an emotional wound and being fake with someone that you care about, because that's why they're your friend. You care about them. And y'all have no idea, I have people, men who message me and inbox me. I don't give them any of my time. Obviously I've said that before, and I just don't, right? Especially, no, I'm not even going to say especially in these cases, because I never do. That when there's a woman, and especially if I see they've been a follower, right, and they'll message me, or they'll be like, do you have a chance to chat or time? And I may not, but when I get a chance, I did that this morning, and I saw somebody did that, and I don't want them to think I'm ignoring them. And so, I mean, maybe is it the way that I speak? I don't know, because I got in my message and it made me feel like I'm here trying not to be rude, trying to be considerate. And the lady's like, do you have time to chat? So I tell them, hello, what can I help you with? I mean, and you know the response that I got? It was, question mark. I've never really talked about this, but when someone messages me and I reply to them, and I'm giving them that attention to the fact that I'm actually being polite and I'm replying, right?
Okay. We know you're a great person because you responded to a message. Okay, let's get past that already.
And they respond to me with a that makes it off the bat awkward, because that right there lets me know, okay, what's going on here? Because do you not see the thread of this conversation? My hello, how can I help you, is a response to your, are you available to chat? So right off the bat, I'm what's going on here? This doesn't make sense to me. 2, it makes it seem like I'm reaching out to you and I'm initiating contact with you and I'm somehow bothering you, right? And so it's why would you even reach out to anybody? And when they politely reply to you, you bust out with the that I will probably never continue that conversation. That person will literally have to come back and explain to themselves, because I'm not going to do that. I don't want that
What's happening to the
in my
screen
life.
is pretty creepy. The
I'm not
Matrix.
gonna.
There's a glitch in
I
the
don't want to
Matrix.
visit that feeling. I
Hopefully
don't
it
want
clears
that.
up in a second.
I don't want that. I just don't understand why
It
people have
does
to be
clear up,
so
by the way.
awkward about just. It's that's all it is. That's all this was. I don't understand why people have to make communications so awkward. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'll never get it. Abby Love says, "You are correct, Vanessa. My granddaughter's family doctor of 10 years took her life last month by her own self. And she was a doctor for 28 years. No one knows why she did that. She seemed happy. Yeah, yeah. The ones that you suspect will do it the least, they seem the most happiest. They seem the most happiest. You all have seen it. And everybody's still there like, oh my God. Like, how many times do you have to see a person that you think has everything that's actually so alone and understand there's not a soul in the world that will understand them? How many times do we have to see that scenario play out before we start to understand to be a little bit more sensitive? Because I understand that there's demonic and evil people in this world that will push a person like that because they really don't want to see that person exist. They really don't. So they'll purposely push that person. But to the general public that is loving and caring, how many times do we have to see a person that we thought it was beautiful or handsome, has all the potential in the world, is full of life, makes you feel good? They make you feel good. They make you feel good about yourself. They make you feel good about just the world in general, the outlook in the world. And you have no idea that they feel so lonely. And from one day to the next, they no longer exist. And we are still there telling ourselves, how can that happen? Instead of trying to figure out how can that happen, why don't we figure out how can we make it not happen? Like, how can we make it not happen? Like, why do we have to make things like awkward for people like that? I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say.
She's really not good at dealing with someone. In this case, she's just responding. I don't know if she actually talked to her or not. I don't think Gigi was suicidal. I think she was just frustrated at certain situations going on. And I don't know if you guys have seen the video that I put out of her. This was Vanessa driving along one day, and she got a comment from someone who said they wanted to unalive themselves, and she really didn't have nice things to say about that. And it was very disappointing for someone who says so much that she's a nurse and for 25 years and this and that. The way she handled that person who was clearly troubled was a problem for me. Everybody saw it and said, whoa. Yeah, so I posted that phone number down there. If you know someone who needs somebody to talk to, if you can't be there for them and be someone to talk to, have them call that line. They can definitely help. And remember, just because you're having a great day doesn't mean everybody else is.
It's strange that nobody really cares about. You can be smart, you can be beautiful, you can be handsome, you can be charismatic, you can be sexy, you can have all the great qualities that everybody in the world would wish they could have. And you can still feel like no one in the world understands you. And sometimes that's okay. That's livable. That's, you understand that. And it's okay because you get by every day, day by day, with your own mental strength. That when the people that are supposed to be like on your side, or they're supposed to care about you, when even they don't, we wonder then why these good souls, and if there's doctors and it's the highest rate of doctors doing that to themselves, I think we can agree that these are good souls. These are good souls that don't want to be here anymore. And if you don't believe me, then talk to the parents of these people that from one minute to the next, you see them here and you see them smiling and you see them laughing because they're trying to survive whatever it is they're going through. God. It's so sad. And there's even people that would look at these two videos that I've made, part one and this is part two, and they would still, like judge, because they're probably one of those that doesn't want to see somebody like me survive. They don't. They don't, for evil reasons, petty reasons, just to curiosity, morbid reasons. Let's see if she'll survive this ugly thing that we can throw at her. Let me try to make fun of her in whatever way, because I'm just bored at home or I don't have anything else better to do. You have to be strong, but it's already enough that you have to be strong with strangers that are trying to destroy you, or people that are evil trying to destroy you, that know that you're a good person, and that's the reason that they want to destroy you, is because you surviving and your light it exposes those people for what they really are. It's bad enough you have to survive all that, but then to have to survive your friends that mean well, that don't understand. And then you see those comments after somebody does that to themselves. You see those comments that say, she knew I was always there for her, or he knew I was always there for her. Why didn't they, they just reach out? Why didn't they, why? Because they just couldn't do it. They couldn't deal with it. And they tried. They tried. And these are smart people that do this. You want to know why I think they do this? I think they do it because they're smart enough to realize that in that lifetime they're living, that things are not going to get better for them. And unless you understand the pain.
She was talking about glow, right? And if you haven't seen that, maybe you should see it. There was a lot of passion in that. A lot of deep down anger and hurt. And yeah, a whole show could be done, a whole program could be done just on that video alone. She did a couple of them. And so here VT seems like she wants to discuss that. But instead of keeping the focus on on the other, on GG, she just wants to turn this all to about her. When I don't know, it might have been a good idea to discuss, the pain that other person was going through, and not just turn everything back on yourself. And but I guess that's expected, right? That's what we expect. Yeah.
And you will always be confused about how a good, smart, decent person can go from being here one day to literally not being here the very next day. Remember, these are medical students, even doctors already accomplished. This person just commented that a doctor of nearly 3 decades, 4 decades. These are smart people that are doing this. Then we wonder why school children do this. Why are we wondering why school children do this when we know that some of the most brilliant minds are doing this?
Tammy, that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
No one ever asks you if you're okay anymore. And sometimes when you ask somebody if they're okay, like, you want to just be so polite and you can't really say, no, I'm actually not okay. And I know that it's okay to not be okay. We all know now, because we've been trying to get that message out to people, especially in the last few years. It's okay to not be okay, but it seems like it's not okay to not be okay. Because it's not okay to some people for you not to be okay. If you not being okay means you still surviving, and them not getting the attention that they want from you,
it's okay not to be okay.
or them not getting or not seeing out of you what they want to see or what they want to get out of you. So it's not always okay to not be okay. And as much as we want to put that message out there, you don't understand. Like, I can see why some medical students would do it and some doctors would do it, because how can they explain? How can they go on? How can they say, you know what, I want to take a break from what I'm doing?
I think she's even confused.
And I want to make myself feel better so that I can be the best human I can be. Some of us don't have the privilege of having someone take care of us. Because we are literally the only thing that we have in this world. Some people can help you to a certain point. They can't pay all your legal fees for you, especially if you're going through something that I'm going through. They can't, once you get through your struggle, they can't pay for law school for you. When you finally survive everything you've survived and you've kept yourself together mentally and everything, and you still want to be the best person you can be, nobody can pay all your bills for you because you want to heal yourself. It's not okay sometimes to not be okay. It's not. Because everybody demands a piece of you. And they're not satisfied sometimes with what you're willing to give. For anybody that's going through anything, I want to say so badly, it's okay. Sometimes for even me, it feels like it's impossible.
Hey, Chris.
When I was 17, I went through something.
No, not
And I thought
Gigi.
this life that I'm living is impossible. It's going to be impossible. No one understands me. No one's ever going to understand me. If school was so hard for me for 12 years, then my life is going to be hard for me. If elementary school was hard and junior high was hard and high school was hard, and the little bit that I'm starting to understand as I'm aging out of 17 years old shows me, and I'm smart. I know I'm smart. This world is not a world, and it's not a life I'm going to be having to fight my whole life. And then something happened. And my son, thank God that my son being born became more important than every doubt that I had at 17 about my ability to be able to live a life worth living went away, because suddenly his life, thank God for him, because his life made my life worth living. It forced me. It was so much more important. Lorenzo was so much more important than any doubt that I had about the kind and the quality and the happiness that I'd be able to achieve in my life.
FOMO 312. Thanks for being here. That's pretty funny.
But sadly, my 17-year-old self was right. I was right. I was too smart for my age.
Oh my goodness.
I knew. I had predicted everything that has happened to my life up until right now. I predicted it. I knew.
If you're so smart, how do you let yourself get to this position where you are right now? If you're so intelligent, many times saying more than the average people, more than the average person, why are you in this position that you are right now? and sometimes digging a deeper hole for yourself. If you're so intelligent, then why don't you do the right thing?
I knew it was going to happen. I didn't know exactly how, that I knew that it was going to happen. I knew that I was going to be forced to fight. I knew people were going to try to take away my happiness. I knew that people were going to try to take my joy. I knew it. I knew it. My 17-year-old self knew it. My 17-year-old self knew men are not going to like you. It's going to be rare. And there's going to be some that hate you. And there's going to be some that are going to want to destroy you physically. And there's going to be some that are going to want to destroy your life. You're never going to be able to have friends because they're all going to betray you. My 17-year-old self was right. I wasn't wrong. I wasn't wrong. So now that I'm actually going and having to every single day get myself up,
just like everybody does,
find potential in every day that I might live. Find potential for the next day, find potential for the next week, find potential for the next month, find potential in the next year, because I have to find potential in everything in order to make my life worth living. And that's what I do. No matter how much somebody hates me, no matter how many people hate me, no matter how many people want to see me not exist, no matter how many people are laughing at me, no matter anything, I still try every single day of my life to be the best person I can be. And it's not easy. It's very difficult. And I'm admitting that it's very difficult. It's not easy. And what has been the hardest is accepting not the loss of things, because I know I can always get things back.
Hey, Max.
Not the loss of being able to achieve my greatest potential in my education, because I know that eventually I will work hard to be able to afford to go back and get what I wanted to get and start right where they stalled me, right? It is the time that would have still been there, the memories that would have been still made of the people that I've lost in my life, whether it's been because of things that shouldn't have happened that affected that communication and that connection. Because it changed me, things changed me, and they thought I changed, when really I was just a little bit broken and I just needed some time. Or whether it's people trying to separate me from people that I love, right? Or whether it's people from the public.
It's from today, Max. It's from today.
Want to tell other people that are curious about me this is what she's like, when really that's not what I'm like. When really that's not what I'm about. The potential. So the relationships between the people that I love and the potential connections that I could have been able to make with people that would have loved me, had it not been for hateful people that changed their minds about me before they even got to know who I actually was. That's what I regret. That's what hurts the most. The memories and the experiences and the time and the love that was lost and that was prevented from happening, that was stopped and that was stalled. That's what hurts the most. I'm going to let y'all go. I'm so sorry to anybody if I haven't been the friend that I should have been. And I know that I was, because that's why we were friends. That's why we're friends, right? But I'm sorry that in my broken state, I may not be, that I haven't been able to be the friend that I need to be. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry to anybody that will realize later on that the things that they were told about me were not true and that I really wasn't that person. I'm sorry that they did that to you, whether you were young and they did that to you, or whether you weren't, they took advantage of a certain situation, or, of you in, my life. It's okay. It's okay, because it's not your fault. But I'm sorry. I'm apologizing for them. I'm sorry for them. I'm saying it right now. To anybody that may have felt love for me, that they could never let that love grow because they allowed the opinions of other people about me, or they allowed what the public might think of them if they allowed themselves to love me. I'm sorry that they did that to you, and I forgive you. And you don't have to worry about that because it's not your fault. They've done a really good job. Both the people in power and the hateful people from the public have done a really good job. So I can understand why no one would explore that connection with me. And that's all I have to say, is that I'm sorry for not being as strong. That one day people will understand everything that I went through. And they could understand, hopefully, that there's probably not one human on the planet that could have gone through what I went through.
Yeah. No, nobody, only you.
And gone on to live a life that was worth living. And that they made it nearly an impossibility.
Yep. So I know for for a moment, as I did, for a moment, I felt I started to feel bad, but you know what? I feel I feel more bad for Glow. She really, really got a lot of stuff out last night, and you could hear it, man. You could hear it. That was coming from right here, and you know, I always feared that this tension between some of these pages is just getting way out of control, and then hoping that nothing crossing the line would happen, and then it happened, and then hoping that was the end of it. But of course, the other side's got to respond, so then there's another line crossed, and it's just gotten way out of hand. So chew on that for a little while. You should look up. Can somebody post the page for Glow's videos from last night? I mean, you watched that. I know some of you had seen it. Some of you, I've gotten the messages just now, so I know you have. Just watch that. Somebody post it. It's on YouTube. I appreciate it if you would. And yeah, that's some. Yep. No more cheese keys. Thank you. Look that up on YouTube. Thank you. Yeah, I did. I felt, at first it was. I mean, you just take it for what it's worth. When you first see it, and you're laughing, you say, "Oh man, this is nuts. This is gonna get crazy, right?" But then you keep watching it, and you keep listening. You can hear. Man. If it was phony drama, well, I took it hook, line, and sinker. I did. But I don't believe it was phony drama. I think that was some real crap coming out from her core. And so that is who I feel bad for. I sincerely do. So we'll see what comes of that. I didn't post part 1 because I haven't seen it yet. And I want to be careful, any of this talk or sentiments or the feeling of, the phrase they're using right now, unaliving someone wants to unalive themselves. Just got to be careful what I put out there like that. And I skimmed through this video, which is apparently a part 2. And yeah, I was okay with this. So I'll take a look at part 1 and maybe I'll post it. Maybe I'll do a thing on that tomorrow. But yes, if you know anybody who isn't doing well, might need to talk to somebody, see if you can be there for them. If not, give them the 988. The crisis hotline, the one that's right down there. All they gotta do is dial 988. They'll be connected, or they can text 988. I think someone said they can text 988 if they don't want to necessarily speak to someone. At least initially, and just be there for people. Remember, I said it a few days ago. Try and be a listener. Be a better listener. Try to be an ear for somebody. Sometimes people just need a shoulder and an ear to talk to. So that's the best thing you can do. So, all right, that's all I got for right now. Let's see what else we got here. Pretty sure it's 988. Unless Google got it wrong. Yeah, because I'm looking at 933, and that's something else. Bandwidth Support Center. So I type in 988. Help is available. So it's 988. Yep. Yep. Everyone have a good night. Thank you for being here. Anything else comes up, you'll see me back here again. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow. Happy Monday, or at least glad your crappy Monday's over. And we can get on with the rest of our lives as Tuesday is right around the corner. Don't forget, trash pickup in some communities. Take out your trash bins tonight, or you're going to forget. Have a good night, everybody.